Good morning, everybody. This is Marc Sperling here for the morning call. It's Wednesday. So yesterday was that day which we were looking for. We've been in a very tight range in the indices, in the spiders particularly, and we finally got ourselves. We got a gap up, and it just a gap and go for the most part. I mean, we did pull in a little bit, but it did continue, and you can just see we really went over that area, that tight consolidation area that we were looking to get out of. And we did. I would expect continuation to follow. So it certainly happened in the spiders, and the Qs also are basically tapping on new highs. IWMs have been lagging, but they led last week. So maybe another day of digestion, and they continue. But overall, the market looks okay. I expect at least a week of this forward. New money getting put to work for the most part. I don't know it's going to be a straight line, but yesterday's, make sure the high of where we broke out of from, probably around, I would say, 210.30, 210.20 is the level it should hold. So just say 210 for argument's sake. So either way, it looks good. I've been saying that high beta stocks, the stuff we've been playing continuously for the last month, most likely they're going to continue to outperform this tape. There's going to be funds that need to push performance by the end of the year. That's where they're most likely going to get it. I think they got a little bit on the small caps. It's going to be that in the small caps, in my opinion. So you had Google, which actually hit new highs yesterday and on its way to 800. I know it got an upgrade yesterday to think to 1,000 or 1,100 to something to that effect. So it looks really good. No levels because it's at new highs, quite frankly. Amazon, right at new highs. I would expect the next day or two, above that level, it's going to hit new highs, 683, 682-ish, high 682s. That's the new high, so keep that on the radar, and I think that's ready to go. Also, Facebook woke up yesterday, had a nice move. Buying on the pullback basically has worked nicely in the stock for a nice period of time, and it worked again. And so it got over some key moving averages, the 8 and 21 day. Now you're looking at 108 as small resistance. Gets above there, you're looking at new highs again, which again, it's one of those that has performed all year. I would expect new highs to come if this market continues higher. Also, there was news on Facebook. Zuckerberg had his baby, and he did a pledge that he's going to be giving 99% of his shares away in his lifetime, which, again, just from an impressive point of view, it's $45 billion as of today's value. Just very impressive. And, obviously he's an impressive individual, and I think it's a great example for others. And he's doing basically the Gates pledge. Other stocks that we looked at, LinkedIn woke up yesterday. I was saying 240, 242 was that level. It held its 21 day. Popped above. I didn't get a chance to buy it. With a little digestion, I will get in eventually. I'm not going to just chase higher. It's just not necessary. Tesla. Surprising move. I thought digestion was going to happen. I thought it was going to have some resistance at the 200-day. It did for about a day, and then it went through there. And now you really have no resistance to about 245, 250. So it's certainly on the radar. Still not the prettiest chart in my book, but it's high beta. Still heavily shorted. It looks good. Netflix in that category also. Basing now, you have 6-7 days of basing highs. People keep asking me about it. I think I'm getting convinced that, I got to start looking at it a little bit more. I really haven't traded it much over the last few days. But, you're looking at 126 and change, 126.60, new high over the last 7-8 days. And then you're looking at 129.29 new highs. Certainly this could do it if a bid gets underneath this tape. Either way, it does look conducive, and it has base now for a good 5-6 days across the board. Priceline had an uptick. We were saying that might play a little catch up. Still, that's a stock that obviously has gotten hit, but either way, it had a nice bounce off its 200-day moving average. Expedia is looking to do the same thing. We'll see. It had a nice move yesterday, a little move yesterday. We'll see if it can regain some composure and get back to 130. It's not an A trade for me, but it's certainly something I'm looking at across the board. I know some other notables, which I haven't mentioned, I guess, in a few days. PANW had good earnings. Security stock looked good, and it continues to go. I know the other security stock that, in my opinion, looks good. IMPV. I don't necessarily play it, but technically it does look pretty good. It's at basically highs when obviously you know what Cyber and Fay are, which I know is the other stocks that are mentioned in that category. So certainly keep that in mind. Microsoft, all the angst that people have been dealing with finally got above that level. Let's see if it holds. It should. At least 55, 54.70-ish. Again, I haven't been that concerned with it anyway because it is Microsoft. It doesn't gyrate that much. But I would look for a short-term 56, 56.50 move in this stock for some, continuation to the upside after the earnings, which is obviously has now digested over almost a month and a half. So keep that on the radar. Banks, I know, have moved a little bit. Just to take a side note, Yellen's speaking twice today, and I think she's speaking once tomorrow. So she's not going to say anything that's going to come out of the sky. We believe interest rates are going to be raised a quarter of a point. December 15th. She doesn't want to surprise anybody, so she's just going to have much of the same rhetoric. I don't think that's going to change at this point in time. But again, she is speaking, so you have to keep in, be aware, and stay tuned. But Goldman, Citi, AIG. I know people like Morgan Stanley here. They look okay. Again, not my cup of tea to pound the table on. But interest rates go up. Banks historically should go up. I don't know if a quarter of a point is enough for that to really make a whole lot of difference, but it is there. This morning, news and high beta, and I didn't mention not necessarily high beta, but stock-wise, YHOO is up about $2. I know it was up $2.50 last night. It announced that it might sell its core internet business. And something with the tax or the BABA sale. So it's up $2, but also the board did have faith that Mayor is doing a good job, or her job is not in jeopardy as of yet. So technically, I know there was some option buying early in the week or late last week, so it paid off for those that took advantage of it. I did not. BABA's up a little bit with that news, and BABA looks good, as I said. 86, 87 will be some resistance if it ever gets there. Some of the other Chinese guys, BIDU took a break yesterday after a huge day on Monday. Probably another break is in the cards. QIHU, it just keeps grinding up. It's starting to get a little above its moving average, which you can see it's just been tagging almost for 2 months. And so as this move happens, you'll probably get a little bit of a blow off, 2 highs, and then a nice rest will be in store. I really haven't traded it that much, but it's certainly something on the radar for those that do trade it. I know CTRP split, so just having something else. Technically looks great, had great earnings. I don't trade it that often, but it does look pretty good across the board. Some of the other Chinese NFTs, 3 days down, basing, looks okay. A few other ideas that are on my radar. I know Intuit had good earnings the other day. Had a pop yesterday, looking like it's going to, it basically filled that gap, and now it looks like it can move back to the 104, 105 level short term for us. Bios failed other breakout the other day, but then you had some other selective bios that really outperformed. You had VRX, which we know has been in the news so much, and it's actually regained some composure above its 21-day, which is a pretty healthy sign. It seems like 120 is back in the cards for that at some point in time, so certainly on the radar. AGN, same thing. It's going to be just a slow slog, guys. But what did I say? Is it 360? I forget the actual number that the buyout's going to happen, but it's going to happen over a year. So it's going to have its gyrations. Any real pullback is probably going to be viable, unless there's jeopardy that the merger's not going to go through for any particular reason. So overall, guys, I'm still pretty bullish in the bullish camp. I have been. I continue to remain selective. That's the only way I can trade right now. I tried FIT yesterday. I made a little cash flow. I tried CLVS. I made a little cash flow. I tried a few other random ideas. I made a little cash flow. The solars were strong. But I'm looking at what I think is the best in breed, stuff that I can get confidence in, and that's where I'm at. I mean, there was definitely good days I missed in, SCTY, FSLR, which were on my radar for a tad, but they were my B and C trades. So I didn't necessarily jump into them if it ran away from my price. That is the key to trading right now. If you can't get your price, let it go. You do not remember the next day when you forgot, when you let something go and it kept going. You do, though, remember the next day when you get it at a bad price and it doesn't react the way you want it to, and it actually hurts you. So just put things in perspective. If you miss an opportunity, you miss an opportunity. There's always another one around the corner, and you just have to recognize that's part of trading. That's part of what we do on a daily basis. So good luck today. Stay tuned to the radio, and I'll talk to you all later.